Hello everybody, welcome back to It's Current Year for another quick battle fan submission today from 2D Daniel, who got in touch, and shout out to him and his mates. Apparently some of them don't unfortunately have the PC to run the game, but do love Warhammer and love the community, so wanted the thrill of seeing a game of theirs cast online. So he's taken the Skaven today. He sent me a couple of replays. This is one that was particularly close. He is a Skaven enthusiast, so he's up against the Dawi today, generally seen as a pretty favourable matchup for the Skaven, particularly since the Twisted in the Twilight. So for the Dawi player who's gone a pretty massive Vanguard rush, and this is I'd say a pretty viable way for the Dawi to approach this matchup. Lots of miners, just throw lots of armored bodies at the contest. Blasting charges, a lot of rangers, bugmans, that kind of thing. Pretty much take as close to a 20 stack as you can. Couple of slayers as well. Can potentially even throw a couple of gyrocopters in here, but Jezzails are fairly common. So for the dwarf player here, miners with blasting charges and regular miners dotting the front line. We also have Ekron's miners and the Norgrimlin's Ironbreakers, who do actually also have Vanguard deployment. And then we've got 3 Bugman's Rangers, I believe, and 5 regular Rangers. So this is a pretty, like I said, pretty standard Dawi rush build. It's reasonably effective against the Skaven. There's 2 units of regular Slayers back here, as well as a Rune Lord, which I don't know if the Rune Lord is necessarily the best pick, but he's gone pretty cheap here, I think, in order to just go super wide. He's got the damage resistance buff, so can potentially give a bit of a sustainability to the front line and that sort of thing. So for 2D Daniel here, he's taken a pretty much cheap and cheerful front line of Skaven slaves, pretty stock standard. He's got some clan rats in behind that. He has taken 2 units of Jezzails, one of which is the Natty Buvo's sharpshooters, and a unit of poisoned wind mortars. There is a Plague Priest here who looks like he has just taken the 2 summons, a Warlock Engineer with Howling Warp Gale, good anti-gyro tech piece there, and the Warp Zone Armor for a Mortis engine effect. There is a unit of Warp Flayers on this side of the flank, and in a pretty deep Vanguard, 3 units of Death Runners and Deathmaster Snitch, who is leading the 4. So he looks like he's taken the Well of Weeping Blades. He's also got his Sigil. Pretty much capable of killing all the Dwarf Lords. We'll pretty much always get in this matchup, always get a pretty favorable engagement thanks to the Sigil and just his concealment bombs and natural stalk, and Vixen's Death Squad alongside the 2 Death Runners. Now this is a little bit of a risky play because a lot of the time when the dwarves take gyrocopters, they will actually deploy them back here and sweep the back line. So, and also they're a long way away. They are fast, 48 speed. They can get to the front line pretty quick, but you see the fighting here is already underway. The blasting charges and just the regular miner sort of high volume, low AP shooting from the Rangers is doing a bit of a toll. The front line here is completely buckling early, and there's not a lot of great targets here for Jezzails. I mean, they can shoot in, they'll kill mine as well, and they'll put damage into most of these troops, but there's nothing really high value. I mean, Norgrimlin's Ironbreakers with a bronze shield, which is really sad. They should really have better shields than that, but they can probably snipe the Rune Lord. So as the battle starts here, obviously we're going to get a few summons just to plug the gaps, stopping Ekron's miners from getting in on the weapons teams. At this stage you probably want to split your weapons teams a little bit. You do have this speed advantage, particularly while you got the benefit of summons and that kind of thing. Just try and realign your formation a little bit, but you can see here the Dwarven Vanguard has really caught the Skaven off by surprise here. The Plague Priest probably has another summon up his back pocket here, and we see the Death Runners coming up, and this is what I mean. This is risky because even with their speed, it's going to take them a while to get to this frontline fight, and by that stage, I'm not sure how much of the Skaven army here is going to be left, but I was assured this was a very close game, so we'll play it out nevertheless. Got some rallying infantry now. This is where the weapons teams probably need to start pulling back as the Skaven slaves and the clan rats come back. There are still quite a number of blasting charges, and the dwarf player probably is making a little bit of a mistake here, clumping up around a summon here, giving the plague mortars a good bit of value here on multiple units to get their damage over time. Shooting into the Jezzails here is, with their silver shields, your 70 armor is reasonable, but a silver shield here and just, the lack of models in the unit and a reasonably spread formation means a lot of this shooting actually isn't that effective. You probably want to rush in with the miners, push them back and force them to stop shooting, and rather than just sort of outright try and outshoot them. Clean up everything else at first with the Rangers and just try and get pressure on these guys to push them back. Nor Gremlins, though, are going to push in. Very, very small HP pools on weapons teams. There are obviously low model units that don't have good stats by any means in combat. But now that the Death Squad and the other Death Runners are starting to make their presence felt, I think they're actually unhidden. So yeah, the Rangers now realise that they need to do a bit of a delta split and get out of dodge, lest they be torn apart by the Death Runners. Very effective at killing low to mid-tier infantry. They are a very good infantry blender. So the Natty Bubos are probably this Rune Lord here is charging into the fray to take a few Natty Bubos sharpshooters with us. Mainly just great because they're not shooting at the moment. Likewise, the Plague Wind Mortars. Not sure if they're in guard mode at the moment, but the Nor Gremlins are sending them quiet. And now the hopes for the Skaven probably pretty much lie on the backs of the Death Runners. The Flayers look like they've been dealt with. Not a 24 kills, not a great deal of value here. They probably needed to be a little bit more active, just cycle charging. And it actually looks like the Warlock Engineer has been shattered off, so no more Mortis Engine effect, no Warp Stone armor. This unit of Warlock Jezzails has found themselves a reasonable spot here, sort of up on the hill, but there are some miners bearing down on them. And this is what I mean. Deathmaster is good at just this hit and run stuff. He'll probably very well may actually be able to kill the Rune Lord here, or at least rout him. The Nor Gremlins are fairly slow, and even that, they're very, very tattered at the moment, very, very weak. The big Ranger firing line here is getting in on Snikch, but he's not very easy to snipe. He's not a big unit model. He's quite quick. The Death Runners here fighting against a horde. Actually, there's 2 units of Death Runners in here, and like I mean, 63 kills. I haven't been in the fight long, only 26 on this one. The Vixtrans have chewed through 102 Dwarves, but really don't want to sit still for too long. Don't want to be taking ranged fire. They do have some physical resistance, but not a great deal of ammo, so not really damage that they can afford to be taking here. They're probably to an extent going to have to put the game alongside the other Death Runners on their back a little bit. Looks like the Plague Priest has been routed off. These Clan Rats will come and maybe relieve him. He'll probably rally. Don't know if he's got any more Winds of Magic for summons. I think he's used a couple already. The Flayers once again have been seen off, and now it's sort of the Dwarves' turn to sort of just get a bit of a split going here. Don't let Snicks just sort of bounce between units. Don't risk friendly fire. These units can, this is basically their best way back into the game. If they can somehow kill Snitch, they may be able to win just through leadership penalties. But the Death Squad over here is chasing down these Rangers, up to 134 kills now. Likewise, these Death Runners up to 70, and we do have another summon here that will come and maybe just help screen for the Death Runners. The Slayers, I mean, there's only 8 left, but they can do a little bit of damage. Nice 31 Rangers here rotating around after rallying, and we see Deathmaster now is sort of just mucked up on Slayers, and probably not exactly what he wants to fight. He will kill them fairly quick. He has got his Well of Weeping Blades as well. He's popped Slippery just to pop his melee defense, so he's not going to take a ton of damage here, because 74 melee defense is quite decent, and obviously with the anti-large specialty of the Slayers, they're not going to get their benefits from that. But just the weight of, I'm not sure if the weight of Bowfire here might be able to take Snicks down. Some errant shots here going in, but damage is damage at this stage. They just want to expend their ammo basically as quick as they can. But Vixtrans has taken a bit of a circuitous route around the battlefield, and as we take a bit of an overarching look, I mean, most of the Dawi infantry basically is scattered to the winds and basically dead at this stage. Probably even if they did rally, I doubt they'd even make it back in time with their little short stunty legs. But Slayers here fighting Clan Rats. Not really what they want to be fighting. They need to sell their lives, killing killing the Death Squad, trying to put some damage on Snicked, and trying to just remove these high value threats. I think that was a summon, so it has gone down. But likewise, just need to get a bit more of a split going here. Don't allow your missiles all to be compromised at once. You know, the other Death Squad, Death Runners rather, are coming back in, but Way to Fire now is starting to break the Death Squad, and the Slayers here, you know, can cut through low armored infantry reasonably well. Death Runners don't have the greatest melee defense, so 40 melee attack on the Slayers up against their 28. They can actually put a bit of hurt in, and obviously they'll stay in the fight, which is handy. But again, Snicks is just on the hunt. You know, this unit of Bugman's Rangers, Bugman's Rangers is a reasonably decent combatant. You know, 29 melee defense isn't too handy, but you see the armor sundering effect of the Weeping Blades of the Skaven Assassins, and the Whirl of Weeping Blades there doing a bit of a number on a number of poor Dawi Rangers here. So might put it on just a little bit of a fast play to see sort of what happens here. I think there's some Rangers with a little bit of ammo dotted around here. Yeah, not much here. They look like they're about to rout. Yeah, unfortunately they do shatter. We'll pop it back on a regular play here. Plague Priest has probably run out of Winds of Magic at this stage, and I think at this stage it's just going to be Snickch, possibly soloing the rest of the Dawi army. There's 12 Slayers. He's going to run and look for a favourable engagement. Probably actually helps the Dawi here. Might be able to get a few arrows in from the Bugmans, giving themselves some space here. These Bugmans, these Rangers probably can't even see those Death Runners now, so they probably just need to get their butts back to the fight. But here is the Plague Priest coming back. The Death Runners once again coming back into the fight, and I'd say now Snicked, yeah, in combat. Oh, he's pretty low, but in combat he can probably carry here with the help of another Plague Priest, the armor sundering of the Vixen's Death Squad as well. And the balance of power only slightly in their favour. If you can save up here, if you can get a bit of a blob going and get another Whirl of Weeping Blades off, that could probably just about push the Dwarves into army losses. So we'll see if that does indeed eventuate. And pretty much on the cue there is the Whirl of Weeping Blades, and a carry by the Deathmaster, 232 kills, over 200 damage value. Likewise, the Death Runners, actually not a great amount of value on these two units. That's a little disappointing. A little bit late to the party, but pretty good on Vixtrans. The Flayers really got shut down quite well. I'm not sure what happened to them. I don't know if they spent as long in combat as they could have. Natty Buboes and the Plague Winds, Natty Buboes and the other Jezzails. Like I said earlier, not a lot of great targets just in this big, 20 sack infantry spam full Vanguard. Other than, it's insurance against gyros. Damage is damage. If they do bring any artillery, they can actually snipe artillery crews and even artillery pieces reasonably well. One Poison Wind Mortar is handy. Generally speaking, I don't think you need any more than that against the Dawi. Definitely got their value back. But as I said, a bit of a risky gambit with the Death Runners. So 2D Daniel and friends, if you're watching, having them all the way in the back like that is, if you come up against something like this, might have been a little bit lucky that the battle wasn't just about over before they even made their way in. They will kill low tier Dwarven infantry. They'll even kill Slayers if their concealment bombs are popped and they get the charge, which they basically always should on their first engagement. I'd say probably, I don't know if the Clan Rats do a whole deal here. I would probably lose the Warlock Engineer as well. You have anti-gyro tools with the Natty Buboes. You probably don't need the Warlock Engineer. Not bad for the Mortis Engine effect, but I guess Mortis Engine effects I think do count as magic damage, so Dwarves slightly resistant to them. Plague Priests obviously needed just for summons here and there. This is also, if you're looking for some build advice as well, this is a matchup where Ikit Claw on the Doom Wheel, you can actually go double Doom Wheel here. Double Doom Wheel, couple of Jezzails, couple of Death Runners, and then basically just spam infantry. Not a lot of not a lot of potential for the Dwarves to really counter, two big chariots, and obviously with their shooting attacks as well, can, if you get shots down the flank, can pierce ranks and do some pretty good damage. So a good replay though. I hope thank you for sending it in. I hope you got some joy out of seeing one of your games cast, and that if you have any more for us, I'm always happy to take a look at it. So thanks, buddy, for sending it in and supporting the channel. And to BBB Ismail, bit unlucky on this occasion. I think this is actually a pretty good, like I said, a pretty good. The full Vanguard actually goes reasonably well against the Skaven. It's not a great matchup in general for the Dwarves. So kudos on playing it out and trying something different. And next time, hopefully you can take a win. But to everyone else, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.